Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Slumber Party Podcast. I am your host, Amanda Juice, and alongside co-host Lisa Ramnarine, BFF, mentor. Here's me every time we start an episode. I'm like, I got to come up with something better to introduce Lisa. And I think that in the moment, I never do. And then we come back and I do the exact same fucking thing again. Exactly. The exact same thing. So I'm sorry.
Stick to what you know.
And you just watch me and you say nothing and you let me flounder. It's because my hair isn't as good as it has been the last few episodes.
Yeah, it's definitely the hair thing.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, maybe you haven't listened to the last few episodes. My hair has been outstanding. Tonight, it's not where it could be, and that's okay. We'll get back to that spot
it's
again.
All part of the hair saga.
I feel like we've lost 100 listeners. We're done. Tonight, I'm super excited because we are talking to Marta Godfrey. Welcome, Marta.
Thank you.
Marta is, we're snapping. Marta is one of the newest members of the Baby's Best Sleep Dream Team. I feel like there's another sleep consultant company that calls themselves a dream team because I'm embarrassed that I've been doing this for as long as I have and I just come up with the dream team. I might actually have to write this down because if it's not somewhere, it has to be.
You're copywriting it, yeah.
TM, trademark. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. How are you doing?
I'm good. We got snowed in hard today. So this podcast is time-stamped. Snowstorm 2022. Yeah, we got like 2 feet. It was a rough day. Rough day of shoveling.
Yeah, 100%. And we all got snowed in. We're all in different locations. But yeah, I moved out, I say to the country, and then my husband will be like, people in the country want to kill you when you say that. But we moved outside of Toronto, which feels like the country, and we got a snowblower, which is my most exciting thing. So I kind of do get excited when it snows this much, so I can snowblow. So I was kind of excited.
Yeah, we borrowed our neighbors. So I did get a test run, and I think next year we're pulling the trigger.
Honestly, it's you're done, right? You're just kind of living your best life. And it also, it's harder than it looks, snowblowing. It looks easy, but you do need to push it. It also, if you don't set where it's going to blow, it blew in my face 3 times. So I'm like, who is watching this? So if my face looks a bit reddish or it's because I snow job myself, as you do. Anyway, Marta, I'm so excited that you've joined the team. Part of this episode is for clients and listeners to get to know you a little bit better. So I would love for you to kind of just jump in, introduce yourself, tell us why you wanted to be a sleep consultant, and maybe your all-time favorite television show.
Oh, God.
Because this matters.
Oh, God. Now my brain's just working on that. Okay, I'll backtrack. So my name is Marta Godfrey. I live in Mississauga, Toronto-ish border. Love it. I am a mother of 2 kids. One is almost 4 and one is almost 1. I have a lot of February birthdays, including my own. So February is busy for us.
That's my birthday too.
Woo!
My birthday is February 4th.
Oh my God, my son's is February 3rd.
Oh, we're
and
best
mine's
friends.
the 18th.
Are you an Aquarius?
I am.
I haven't met a lot of Aquariuses up until recently, and they're all coming into my life. Now, Lisa's birthday just passed.
Oh, no.
She's a Capricorn.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I know.
Yeah.
She just turned 50 last year.
52. I look great.
Actually, that is how you will age, which is so annoying. No, Lisa's mother looks unbelievable, like unbelievable. So we know that this is where we're headed for her. So like, she's a friend like you want to age with, but not really, you know, like
not really.
to a certain point.
One thing I got a big ass and no wrinkles.
Oh God.
Sorry. So continue. Your birthdays are in February. You were in Aquarius.
I'm an Aquarius. Busy month coming up. I have a great husband named Andrew. I used to work in marketing, which I did love, but having 2 kids and working a corporate job is very hard. So I was looking for a little bit more flexibility. Backtracking, when I had my daughter, had no sleep, did everything quote unquote wrong to survive, which was great, wonderful. I could nap during the day, kind of. I survived, got through it, sleep trained at 4 months, saw the gold at the end of the rainbow. Life was beautiful, joyful. And then I got pregnant with my second, and I was like, I am not going back to that. I read everything I could, did all the research I could, and it went a lot better. And so I started kind of becoming the sleep guru with my friends, got really into that world, got really into like the sleep science behind it, became fascinated by it. And then on top of that, I really felt like after I had my first child, my friends weren't really having kids. I was kind of the first. So I went very deep into the world of parent groups on Facebook. And you guys probably know the group Rebel Mamas. Honestly, it gave me life to find a group of parents, a group of moms that I could relate to and ask questions. They gave me hope and quick answers. I met a bunch of friends from that group. Anyways, going on a tangent here, but I really believe in that digital, especially now during the pandemic. I really believe in that digital community and the online community supporting each other. And I kind of feel like Sleep Consultant is a mix of both of those, right? I love the sleep science, but then I also love building this core community of parents and giving them hope, which is what I got as a new parent. I think that's really important.
I love that. I love the Rebel Mamas. It's so funny that your sleep story starts that way because the Lisa, you're in Rebel Mamas, right? Yeah. I don't know if that they have, so I had them on the podcast last, I think last January, actually.
Last season,
it was, yeah. I had them on the podcast and I was kind of shouting at the group and they're like, oh, it's not really open. Like it's not a thing. So it's not a thing anymore. But anyway, when I started like my second parenting journey, I found the Rebel Mamas group and it was so amazing. It was very much up my alley. It was like you said, like very like minds. And then I started my business and so like I want to say this is what 2016 17 I was in the group and I was starting my business and I was doing workshops at Diaperies in like the West End of Toronto. And Nikita Stanley walks in because they were selling like these Rebel Mama jerseys at Diaperies. And I had like a celebrity sighting moment. I was like, like I was like, Nikita is such a great writer and she wrote this like sleep train the shit out of your baby if you want to or something. And it's such a great article. I will link this in the story links. But yeah, I built my business with them. They were really generous with me.
You want to know something? I found out about you through Rebel Mamas. I was looking for help with my daughter and you came up so often because that was right at that, like it was the perfect time. So it was 2018 when I had my daughter. So it was like mid 2018 when I was struggling, needed help. So I did. That's how I found you. I followed you on social media after that. Yeah.
It's
Isn't it
all
funny how you can find a group that speaks so much to you and so much to your personality? I did the opposite when I was pregnant with my 2018 baby.
no.
I was like, I got into August 2018 moms, and that was just like I remembered the reason why I quit Facebook in 2010 when I had when I got pregnant with my first kid.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No.
Rebel Mama is the opposite of that for sure.
Yeah,
Totally.
Or
yeah.
even just that type of mothering community, right? Like how nice it is to find someone
They're
like
very
that you connect like that.
non-judgmental.
Well,
And
it was
the
very
online
like
world can be judgmental.
Yeah.
I think that like I was so surprised when I had kids. I was very like naive and I thought that by the time I have kids, all this like mom shaming shit will be over. That's not going to be a real thing and everyone's going to do what they do. And I'm so surprised that here we are in 2022 where it's so funny. There's like a psychologist friend that I often refer to and talk about, you know, sleep training stuff with and attachment with a lot. Tanya Kotler. Every once in a while, she'll come out, or Dr. Tanya Kotler, I should say. Tanya will come out with something on her Instagram or something that just talks about like attachment and sleep training. I'm like, it's so good. And she's like, I just can't believe I still need to say it. I'm like, I know. Like sometimes you say something so much you feel like, oh, people are going to get so annoyed. But there's always this like new iteration of parenting. There's this new iteration of like this kind of competition is, I don't know if that's like a good word for it, but it's like, it's a whole every time it's like, guys, let's just do what we want. Like, who cares? Don't If you don't want to sleep train, you shouldn't. And if you want to
Yeah.
sleep train, you should. And if you don't want to, it's okay. Like I just don't
Yeah.
truly there should be no pushing in any direction.
Yeah.
You also said something, I feel like I have a tangent coming up because you said something at the
We're
beginning
ready
where you
for
were
it.
like, oh, what?
We're ready for it.
We're ready for it. No, I feel like we haven't talked about this on the podcast, but you had sort of said like a number of people who have applied for Baby's Best Sleep have talked about like, I just need more flexibility. And I just keep hearing this. I mean, it's why I left teaching, which I absolutely loved, and I loved where I was. But my husband travels, as everyone knows. And so I needed a certain level of flexibility that like no job, no, like no 9 to 5 or no like job that needed someone to rely on could really count on me without me going crazy. Anyway, I was kind of raging this morning because I was talking to a new client, and she was like, "Oh, how are you doing? Like, are you okay with like the snow day?" And I was just like, I've hit a point where I am angry that we have acted like it's been business as usual for the last 2 years. So I refuse to let today stress me out because we are in an incredibly ridiculous situation and the world has gone on like we should all be acting like nothing is wrong. Everything is wrong. And she was obviously a wonderful client, but it's like when this happened again and schools were shut and now like there's a snow day, like I sort of was like, no, we're not, it's not business as usual. We are not doing this. I refuse to like work at this pace again. I refuse to act like everything is okay. So I mean, this kind of sounds like a humble brag to me, but like, I just don't think that the modern world in any industry is like doing this pandemic well. I'm sure like I didn't last year either. I just kept working.
Yeah. I think last year actually when it first I mean no, not even last year, the year before, I guess now. It's been so long. I think when it first happened, people were very lenient and people kind of took a step back, but it's just been so long now that I don't think companies are giving the kind of flexibility that they did in the past, or even if they say they are, I think the expectation is beyond that.
Oh, it's like take what you need, but like do the work.
But you also have to do the work. Yeah.
Yeah. But like stay up till midnight. I have so many friends that I know in the corporate world that are doing crazy things right now.
Oh yeah.
I have friends who like, when it was like deep, deep, deep lockdown, it was like they were working in the very like early hours of the morning, like doing daycare during the day and then getting back on a laptop. So it's like, sure, flexible employment until you work yourself to death.
Yeah.
One of those.
Well, and also it's
yes.
funny because I mean, for my husband and I, when he would commute into Toronto and we live in Hamilton, and that's quite the drive, it's a drive, but it's a lot of time to unpack. There was time that we can just talk on the phone. I would be prepping dinner or whatever, it would be quiet time for kids or whatever it may be. And now there's not that time. And and your spouse or even you, if you're the person who used to leave, they don't take that extra time for themselves, right? So he doesn't have that 40 minutes or 50 minutes to himself to just quietly think in the car and sort of or download his day to me. And I don't have the same, like, he comes down and it's full hands on, and then he goes to work and we wake up with our kids and we go to bed with our kids. And that is a stress that I don't think anyone can understand, and kids sleeping is really the only way to survive, right?
Totally.
That evening time where you have a little bit of space for yourself, right? A little bit of time for yourself. Yeah, 100%.
Well, and I was even thinking about you, Marta, because you had a baby in like the heart of the pandemic. How was that? I mean, I think I have an idea just working with clients, but I would love your perspective.
You know what? I got fairly lucky in that my daughter was in a preschool, so she wasn't in JK. So she was still able to attend. There was a fear that she'd come home and be sick, but I kind of pushed past that fear because I needed her to go to preschool.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. And it was fine. It ended up being fine. My husband was around. His work was pretty flexible. He helped out a lot. He would drive her to preschool and pick her up and all of that, which I don't think would have been the case if he was commuting to work every day, right? Yeah. So I kind of lucked out in that sense because he has such a flexible job. So it wasn't so bad. We didn't get to introduce him to friends and family as we would with, any other newborn. So that was kind of sad. I think a lot of my friends missed that little, some of my friends still haven't met him, to be honest, because it's just like, we got a little bit of a break in the summer there, where we got to do some fun stuff, and then it flowed right back into it. First there were colds in the fall, and now we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
But it could always be worse, I think.
I know.
I tell myself.
It can be. I'm in these moments, I think of like my privilege and how this pandemic is showing up elsewhere and all of those things. We have a lot of American listeners. I'm interested to know, like, I feel like Canada's been like locked down, and then we just see our neighbors. They're like, woo! Like, what's that like? We should just have an American on here to figure that out. Okay, so we were talking about this. We interviewed Bria last week, and one of the things that we had asked her, I didn't ask Lexi this, but everyone has their sleep thing. So like for me with my things, it was like early mornings. Like Winnie would always wake very early. And I mean, even still is not really a kid who sleeps in. It's a lot better. But what is your like sleep kryptonite for you?
Kryptonite, like what went wrong and what I know really well, or
like I just think that sometimes I phrased that question badly. It's like sleep consultants, people think like nothing bad ever happens to us and our kids must just sleep like dreams, which is like, yeah, they sleep well for sure. But I do think that there is everyone, their kid has a thing that they still do that we have to like come back to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, yeah, I have a couple examples of that. But my number one, I have a really recent one from this week. But my number one with both kids was definitely short naps and always dreading an overtired baby and thinking that that was such a big deal when I should have been extending those wake windows. And it's still a thing because I forget, like my son's been randomly, he was teething really hard. He has molars coming in, all that jazz. But he was waking up a lot in the middle of the night the last week or two. And I was like, what's going on? Like, he's sick, something's going on. And then I was like, wait a second, he's almost a year old. Like, I should probably extend these. But like, he wasn't having short naps. He wasn't struggling to fall asleep for naps. So I was like, okay, no red flags. But the red flag was the getting up in the middle of the night, which I'm just like, I thought he was just sick. But no, I extended them yesterday, and literally last night he slept through, no issues, went to bed perfect tonight, no issues, extended it half an hour.
Totally. Sleep consultants always need their sleep consultants.
That's what I said to my friend today. Literally, I quote unquote said that. And I was like, you don't think about it with your own child because you think about all the other what ifs and all the other things going on, right? Because you know them so well that you kind of have to take a step back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lisa, I think you shared yours last time with our friend who would wake up at 4:00 in the morning, go boo. Do you have anything with Miss, like your new little miss? So Lisa has 3. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, so yeah, the oldest one was my kid who would just scare us with the boo. With my youngest, she is the cuddler, so she requires lots of love before bed. And now that she's at school, now that she was at school for a full week last week, she, we want to give her that. You want to spend that extra time. She gets home late. It's 4:00 or past 4, and there's so little time between 3 kids. And so, yeah, you want to give her that. But like just now, I can hear her giving my husband a hard time and calling him back over and over again. So that's our little dirty secret with her. There's one more for next episode with the middle one.
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
I'm so curious. Yeah.
Like you just said that, and I was like, do I hear my children?
Phantom cries.
It's so true. They never end.
Yeah.
On that note, we are coming up to 22 minutes, and we're getting into like the crappiest of crap naps, but I don't like to go too long. I like to get everyone a full listen in. Marta, if people want to find you, how can they find you and book you immediately through Baby's Best Sleep?
Exactly. Do that. Go to the website, babysbestsleep.com, and look me up, Marta Godfrey.
Yes. And she is on Instagram, BBS_MARTA. You can find myself at Baby's Best Sleep. I think people think that is my name sometimes. I've been out in the public and they're like, Baby's Best Sleep. I'm like, oh, I get that. Yeah. So you can find me at Baby's Best Sleep. You can find Lisa at BBS_LIZA. The blog, the podcast, all the tips are there for you. Until next time, thank you so much and have a wonderful sleep. Thank you. See you later.